Did you know that we have aliens to thank for the first of its kind technology used to create the crowd sequences in Lord of the Rings? Well, I'm KT, and here's a quick movie fact. Yes, Massive, which, if you don't know, was created by Stephen Regelous to create these sequences like Battle of Helm's Deep, is an AI software unique because it creates agents very rapidly that each have their own behavior or action. The large crowds where each person's going to do its own thing, and you don't have to program that ahead of time. Oh my god, super, super useful. But where do aliens come into that? Well, in 1993, creator Stephen Regelous had a dream that he was walking into his office, and he found a group of people. They were watching a simulation of a forest. And in that forest, it had animals and trees and weather and everything. But it was all existing in real time. This is when the people revealed to him they were aliens. And they explained how they had made this software. The long and the short is that they used nodes, and that allowed the creatures to each have individual behaviors dictated to them. Lucky for us, Stephen remembered this, and even more lucky, Peter Jackson was very insistent when he asked him the first time at the Frighteners after party, "Do you think you know how to do this?" Stephen said he had an inkling, meaning he'd had a dream, but he turned him down saying, "I'm not sure I should do this." Well, Jackson persisted, and Regelous wound up spending the next 2 years of his life creating what would become Massive. And something kind of unique happened in the very first try of it, which was set around a Wellington house where they just had 1,000 red soldiers and 1,000 gold soldiers attacking at each other. They found that audiences said, like, hey, it looks like that guy is avenging the death of the person in front of him, and it looks like that guy's choosing to run away from the fight. And none of this was programmed in, but they realized audiences would choose to see stories themselves. Now, there was a lot of programming that went in. When you think about all of the options, they have to react to each other, their environment, the weather, sound. If someone near them screams, they have to react to that. And then when all of that, what they called fuzzy logic instead of simple logic, where one of two things happens, a whole multitude of things could happen in this connection of nodes, death. Once the thing dies, it doesn't have any logic, but it still needs to exist in its environment. It still needs to fall off a ladder, per se, and have gravity affect it. If it bounces into somebody else, that needs to kind of happen as it would a real body. That also had to be programmed in. So much goes into this. And why? We have neural networks where you show pictures to things and then they can learn. Well, that takes like 4 months to teach a neural network to do something. This Massive can be changed instantaneously on the fly. So if I want my elves to jump more in this battle, they're jumping more. We don't have to train that in. And time is money when you're making a film. In fact, this winds up becoming the absolute industry standard. You've seen it in so many films. You've seen it in iRobot. You've seen it in Chronicles of Narnia. You've seen it in 300. You've seen it in Black Panther, Avengers, Game of Thrones, Avatar.